Hey, I'm Tim. I'm a mobile user acquisition and monetization consultant. And today I want to talk about the integration between RevenueCat and Facebook events, which is the source for you to optimize all of your Facebook ads campaigns. And a lot of my business partners are mobile app developers, and they basically use RevenueCat in order to track their subscription revenue. And the first thing they want to do is to basically set up their first Meta ads campaigns. And so basically what you want to do is send all of the data about your purchases from RevenueCat to Meta ads in order for Meta ads to display the return on investment that you are getting from your ads. And it's also a good source of signal for them to optimize further down the funnel. So let's say you can start by sending just your installs, but then you might want to optimize towards start trial. And then at the very end, you might want to optimize towards a volume of purchases or a like ROAS goal in specific campaigns. And so for this, you technically need the Facebook Ads SDK or Meta SDK, whatever. And on the other hand, you might integrate this with RevenueCat or any other competitor. And we're going to talk about this specific integration today, as I've seen a few interesting things. So basically, here's how it looks like. And when it's correctly set up, so here, it looks like it's correctly set up. This business partner of mine also happens to be working with AppsFlyer as an MMP through the general configuration, right? So this seems to be correctly configured. Let's see. This is a start trial event, and basically it returns a positive response as well. And so when you think about it, AppsFlyer is just another layer for you to send events to Facebook ads, right? But the integration we saw earlier basically is a direct integration to Facebook ads to send purchase events, right? Now, if we have a look at the very same account, but on the other side, we can have a look at the purchase events, for instance. We can see that we have multiple sources of events, both server, so in this case, it would be RevenueCat sending purchase events through the Conversions API, and mobile measurement partner, here being AppsFlyer, right? And so what's interesting is that now we can choose to have one of those integrations being the one that Facebook uses for its campaigns optimization. So basically, here we can see that for this client, we chose to actually use AppsFlyer as a mobile, as their mobile measurement partner for all of their app events, which includes purchase and installs. So installs here, you can check that this is the same. Cool. And the reason being this is that we actually need app installs events and purchase events to basically be tracked by the same source in order to launch AEM campaigns on Facebook ads. And basically, we're gonna check whether we are eligible. So don't get afraid here. We need to check for the very specific events we're interested in. So for app promotion campaigns and for the app installs objective, the AppsFlyer integration is actually eligible to run installs. So this has nothing to do with RevenueCat, right? This was just here because our AppsFlyer integration is correct. But now, if we have a look at purchase, we basically can see that our integration with RevenueCat and AppsFlyer for the purchase events enables us to actually run some purchase campaigns or ROAS campaigns, which is cool. That's fine and all. But the thing is, if that's your first campaign, what we discussed in the very beginning was that you might not necessarily need AppsFlyer, or you shouldn't need AppsFlyer in order to just be eligible for these campaign types. You might just want to use Facebook SDK, Meta SDK, and Conversions API. And what's happening here? So I'm going to just make the change for you. What's happening here is if we put Facebook SDK for iOS here, then it would just track the installs with Facebook SDK, right? Not going to do it now. And here, we just try to find the purchase events. And here, it's not the same, right? It's Conversions API. So basically, it means it's kind of broken. Like the RevenueCat with Meta integration doesn't work as is, because Meta actually forces you to have the same integration between the install events and the purchase events. So not going to do it here because that's going to not work. But another thing I could do would be to use the, like, whatever integration Meta wants to, I don't know, pick all of the events and see what happens. So let me just hit save here, click done, refresh. And the logic here would be that maybe Meta is smart enough. They know what event they should pick in order to optimize for Meta's attribution for iOS 14 Plus. So in this very specific case, it would basically mean, so this looks more green than before. Would basically mean AppsFlyer, right? So it looks like app install has Meta, like, you cannot understand what's being used here. Like, are they using AppsFlyer? Are they using Facebook iOS SDK? I don't know. So basically, we'll see. And but basically, this is eligible, so that means you can run some install campaigns, right? And how about purchases now? Purchase events. So we can see that this is not eligible as previously, because Meta chose Facebook SDK for iOS, and basically we can see here we haven't received enough signals for your selected events from iOS over the 30 last days. And why is that? Is because I don't track any purchases through Facebook SDK for iOS. I track these through Conversions API. Basically, Meta didn't choose Conversions API. Yeah, basically, I don't really know why Meta didn't pick AppsFlyer for those campaigns, right? And so for this very specific partner of mine, I guess I'm happy that they have set up AppsFlyer, but on the other hand, like, they shouldn't need AppsFlyer. So that's kind of weird as an integration between RevenueCat and the Meta, let's say, universe on this side. So basically, yeah, I'm just putting everything back to normal, like putting everything being tracked through AppsFlyer. But this is a very small client, and they shouldn't need AppsFlyer at this point. They should just be able to work with Facebook SDK and Conversions API and the RevenueCat SDK. So something's broken here. And I have another business partner which apparently has a different UI, which is not available to all of the people on the Facebook platform, apparently, as you've seen the one on my other business partner. And basically, you'll see it's not the same, right? So for this one, you can see that if you click on Manage Integrations for app installs, you can basically choose whether, so this one uses Adjust, right? And you can choose based on iOS or Android integrations. And so regarding the purchases, it's pretty much the same. It still is the same issue. Here, you can only choose the Conversions API and your MMP of choice, which was the same right here. So here, app installs are not tracked through Conversions API. They're tracked through Facebook SDK for iOS. And basically, if we go audit this specific client's eligibility to AEM campaigns, so we can see that for installs, it's basically the same. They are eligible to the installs objective through AEM, but for purchases, it's kind of interesting. It's even another issue. Adjust basically is not eligible as AppsFlyer was for purchase objectives for this very specific client, and for Conversions API, it's not eligible as well. And basically, if we go have a look at their integration with Adjust, it's basically, so yeah, I'm not going to show it, but it actually looks exactly like this. And RevenueCat doesn't give us any clue as to why this is wrong. Because of this, like, they are stuck with app installs campaigns, and they cannot even optimize towards purchases. They can optimize towards trials, which is kind of interesting given that here they seem to have everything that is eligible, right? But for purchases, I'm like, this is not eligible. Like, why, right? So that's kind of the end of this rant for me. But yeah, I guess this is an important piece that Meta and RevenueCat need to address in order for more developers to better grow their apps, like give them more visibility. Because if they don't configure this correctly, like, they just can't give the evidence that Facebook needs to be fed with. And at the stage at which these very small partners of mine are, these are their first tests with these new products. And so, I mean, they have so much uncertainty all over their business across their product questions and all that. These issues are like technical, and they're kind of boring to solve for a mobile developer, or even for a UA manager or monetization manager. Like, this whole conversion tracking part shouldn't have to be audited as thoroughly as we're just doing now, right? It just should be solved for everyone, right? So that developers focus on their products and user acquisition managers focus on basically improving their campaigns. So yeah, I hope this will be fixed soon, or if there's a fix already, please write to me or comment this post or whatever. Okay, thanks a lot for your time, and cheers. See ya.